Well, hello, everybody. Hope you're all doing fantastically well. Apologies for my lateness. The technical side of this can be an absolute nightmare at points. What is going on in your world? It is Connor, and we're back as ever, everybody, with the rumour mill. Get your comments in the section below. This is One Leeds, as you're quite well aware. We've got a green screen up. Yes, we have, everybody. We've got a green screen up. The stuff going in the background. This is like my studio / second room. So I've got to be careful. Do you know what I mean? I've got to be really careful of what goes on in here. The missus gets a bit, Connor, you shouldn't be doing this, shouldn't be doing that. You know, come on, mate. Like, let's put the spare mattress in that room, Connor. You know, when people come round, and I'm like, no. A, because I've got lights in there, camera, action. Well, Connor, where can my friends stay? Make them stay on the sofa. Connor, they're a couple. They're recently married. Let them stay on the sofa. You cannot disrupt my setting, but I have lost the battle, but I will not lose the war, everybody. Welcome back. This is One Leeds. Today we're speaking about Gabriel Gudmundsson. We're speaking about Anton Stach. We're speaking about Milinkovic-Savic. Yes, the absolute monster. Michael Armstrong, Yarp from Hot Fuzz. Yes, everybody, we're still interested in him as well. A few developments going on there. Let me know your thoughts in the section below. A little bit of a slow morning this morning when it comes to Leeds United news, but we will vavavoom it up. Don't you worry. Also, this is a big week for Leeds. It is a big week. According to reports, I think the players are back in training today, and there are some fans a little bit perturbed by the fact that Mr. Daniel Farke did say that he wanted the bulk of his squad in for the 7th. And obviously that really hasn't happened when you look at it. Maybe we thought with the rumours last week when it comes to Anton Stach, that may happen. When it comes to Gabby Gudmundsson in last week, that would happen. Potentially even previous weeks, Habib Diarra, Noah Siddiqui, that hasn't happened either. And it looks like as well on that side, on the Sunderland fan channel over here, we are commenting on a lot when it comes to the Black Cats. And obviously it looks like they're very keen on Mikatadze, Leon, and Armand Loriente. So I'll have to wait and see what happens with those guys. But they are being direct aggressive. And some Leeds fans, as we figured out last night on the hard line, are not happy. They are not happy, and they want Leeds United to be reacting in that way as well. So as I've said, everybody, you know, conversation, discourse, debate, and discussion is going to be rife, I'm sure, this morning for your Monday supplement. As I just let the comments marinate a little bit and have a little bit of the morning drug. Okay, let's have a look. What is going on in the comment section below? Talk Norwich City, get them on the sofa. Sounded very Alan Partridge there, didn't I, Jack or Chris? Send them to the hotel. I know. That's what I'm saying. You know, you've got to. But I've vavavoomed it up a little bit. We've got Elland Road in the background over there. We've got almost One Leeds on a football focus standpoint right there. So, you know, I'm quite happy with the background. Don't mind it. I think it's quite cool. And we can vary it up, everybody. We can move to multiple settings here. Want to catch me in Monaco? I'll bring the green screen. You want to catch me in Great Yarmouth? I'll bring the green screen. You want to catch me anywhere in the... I might even go outside Elland Road with this green screen. Lighting could be a problem. But James, thank you so much, mate. Oh, cheers, everyone. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Especially, you know, it feels like we're doing a news report live from Elland Road as well, doesn't it? So here we are. It's a bit better than just having a manky like football back there. Jay says, looking forward to see all the lads behind the scenes. Vids from the club this week with the lads coming in pre-season training. Only 12 days till scum in Sweden. Now, I just want you guys to let me know. I want you to let me know, as we have nearly 800 of you in the chat this morning. Do you think I should break my bank account and potentially try get to Stockholm? I don't know if it's a good idea. I don't know, once again, after arguments with the missus about this room, if I should then go to her and say, look, I've maxed out on the credit card. We're going to Sweden, or I'm going to Sweden. You're staying here. You're definitely staying here. So yeah, I'm trying to figure out what to do in that respect. But yeah, it should be quite interesting to see what happens. It probably won't happen. I'll be brutally honest with you. We're going to Dublin anyway, so shout out to the Irish Whites over there. I get messages all the time from people, even in Scandinavia, saying, "Connor, why don't you come over? It'd be great to see you. It'd be great to see One Leeds out there." And I'm like, do I do it? Do I do it? And just get in trouble for months, potentially. No. Okay, I won't. Don't go out there. Good. Well done, guys. You're looking after my relationship there. Thank you. I'm a very impulsive guy, as I'm sure you all know. talking about the Scandies. Lass, how you doing, man? Morning. Beginning to get worried for the lack of signings, but still have time, don't we? Hope you had a good weekend match on together from Norway. Lass, are you going to the game in Stockholm? Let us know, man. Let's put a mattress in the studio room. Sounds interesting. It's more like this is like our second room, and it's my room. Okay, so I get a little bit of flack about it. And she knows it's work. She gets it's work, but guests come round. Connor has to move everything out. Connor doesn't know where any of this stuff's going. There is a lot in this room when it comes to equipment. I'm looking at 3 lights, a state-of-the-art camera, a lovely tripod, and 3 monitors, a Rodecaster, a Mac. There's too much here, everybody. Too much here. Sky Sports, thank you so much. So Josh says, morning, Connor and everyone. Join the live again. Amazing. Give us the rumours in the news, Connor, like the background. Okay, go to Sweden, but on your own. I like that. Yeah, just go. Just leave her. Okay. She will hear and probably watch this. So I apologize again. I'm probably going to be staying in this room tonight. Okay, so the room. I do love my partner, by the way. Gabriel Gudmundsson. Okay, Graham Smith and many reports on the European circuit, everybody. We don't want to talk about who we're talking about there because he's a bad man. But Gabriel Gudmundsson, Lille, looks like it is on the way. Let's go. Here we go. Fabrizio Romano, Bomber, potentially coming in the next couple of days, maybe the next couple of hours. Graham Smith has spoken about Gudmundsson being basically on his way to Leeds United, and it's close to being done. Reports out in France are suggesting this morning, sources close to Lille as well, are suggesting that Gudmundsson is on his way to England. The club is obviously not named, but we know that club is Leeds United. And I think this would be a really good start to the week. And the update this morning is Fenerbahce. Apparently, reports close to Fenerbahce, they were in for Gabriel Gudmundsson, but the rumors and the contact between player, agent, and club has gone a little bit quiet, and that is probably because Leeds United have in effect signed the player. Noise from Fenerbahce has gone very, very quiet, and apparently, interestingly enough, I put the market value up there as 8.6 million quid. According to reports in Turkey this morning, they were suggesting that the deal has gone down between Fenerbahce and Gudmundsson, and the fee that they were speaking about is 8.6 million quid. So if Leeds are able to get Gabriel Gudmundsson, and if you haven't checked it out as well, I'm going to give a shout out to a guy who I follow on social media as well. Jack LUFC, I think 1919. He's done an absolutely incredible compilation thread on what to expect from Gabriel Gudmundsson. And he's put little video clips alongside it as well. I can't do that. If I do that, I'm going to get done for copyright on here, so I can't do that. However, we've tried to give you a little bit of a lowdown here, everybody. We've tried to give you a bit of a lowdown of all the players. And what I will say is a little bit of a marker as well. A lot of the players on the rumour mill, okay, my football knowledge is pretty decent, but a lot of them, we have to go away. Sometimes from around about 7 a.m., I'm up with my coffee, doing a little bit of the research on players that we're linked with, and it can be quite hard. It can be quite hard because I've not heard of these players before. Serie A, quite decent when it comes to players, but Liga, when it comes to the Bundesliga, sometimes I have to do a bit of research. The obvious ones were the likes of Noah Siddiqui, Habib Diarra. Did a bit of research on them, and we said to you guys, look, these look like really decent players, especially with what Leeds United are looking for. And we do our best to provide you with a little bit of a profile. We talk about the rumours, but we do our best to each morning provide you with a bit of a profile. So with Gabriel Gudmundsson, we've said multiple times before, if you haven't seen what we've said, looks decent going forward. Really decent going forward in terms of Ligue 1. He is, I think it was top 3 in terms of shots on goal, gets forward, looks like a little bit more of a drilled crosser into the box, not a floaty crosser from videos and compilations we've seen as well. Basically gets on the end of things when it comes to the back post as well. Very decent at positioning, spatial awareness looks good going forward, and defensively as well. Can be caught out sometimes when he is a little bit high and further up the pitch, but it feels like that's what Leeds United want in terms of a wing back, of course, to emulate some of those Junior Firpo traits as well. But you've got to think, and I keep mentioning this, he is a top 5 league player. He's playing in all the top. He's playing in Ligue 1. He's playing week in, week out, 43 appearances last season. This is exactly the type of signing that Leeds United need to be going out and making, and it really gets me going. It ticks the boxes. I like what I see. Don't get me wrong. There are some cons in his play. Sometimes I think he can be caught out. We've mentioned the spatial awareness thing, but I think overall, when it comes to like a standardized left back, he's a little bit more of what that should be in comparison to Junior Firpo. And He's played a hell of a lot of games, at 26 years of age, and obviously he's picked internationally as well, which is a big thing. So I like this. I think this is going to be Leeds' first signing of the week, hopefully. Hopefully we've got a few more in there, but it feels like that is going to be the next one for Leeds United through the door. So yeah, as I say, spoken about by Graham Smith over the weekend, and obviously being heavily spoken about by Turkish outlets as well as French outlets, suggesting that yeah, he's on his way, and the deal is effectively dead to Fenerbahce. So we'll let that marinate. Everybody, let us know what you think in the comment section. But are you happy with that? Is that your left back profile? Are you happy with what you see there? I like his recovery speed as well. I like him in the duels. I think there's maybe a little bit that he needs to improve on when it comes to aerial duels at points. I think. But you're defending his own box. He's only 5'10", which is very different to what we're going for this window, which feels like someone like Junior Firpo would have been the profile for in terms of his height. What is he, 6'1", gets on the end of things in the box as well. Very good from set pieces. But it feels like Gabriel Gudmundsson's maybe a little bit more of a pure striker as well. And maybe he can facilitate on set pieces. Who knows? We certainly need to get someone in who can deliver a ball. But his link-up play looks good. With a left winger that we've got on that side, I think the build-up play will be nice as well. It'll be decent, and we'll have to wait and see on that one. Okay, let's have a look at what you guys are saying. Morning, Connor from Mallorca. Shout out to you, Saturn. Aragon said, Gudmundsson much better defensive than Firpo. Firpo probably better with stats and goal contributions, but Gudmundsson progresses the ball forward and can create space for other players. I agree with that, Aragon. And what I'll say with that as well, mate, is I think the thing with Firpo is it's not been recently, has it? I think in the Premier League he struggled. We're all very, very aware of that. But Gudmundsson in Ligue 1 has been consistently decent for a period of time now. And especially last season, he had a really good season, part of Lille's setup as well. Interesting that apparently Leeds have been in communication with a lot of the targets since April, or their representatives. So, yeah, they were clearly keen on him from early on. It feels like this is definitely Leeds' number one target. I can't think of many others that have appeared on the circuit at left back that have been this strong. I mentioned at the start, Josh Doig at Sassuolo. We've mentioned that now for about 3 or 4 years. I don't think that'll ever get done, but Josh Doig would have been a target, but would have been my target, but there wasn't that much on the room mill when it came to left backs. It feels Gudmundsson has been very, very consistent from early on. So I feel Leeds will come out and say something like, this was our number one target, which is good. And obviously they're going to say that, but yeah, I don't mind that whatsoever. Chris Allen says, we get Gudmundsson, stack Milinkovic-Savic over the line, then defensive part of the team is pretty much sorted. Another couple of full backs for competition would be useful, 100%. Lewis said, guessing he's more defensive minded than attacking. He is, Lewis, but as I've mentioned earlier on, mate, for fullback, I think he's in the top 3 when it comes to shots on goal in Liga this season. And that's very similar to another player that Leeds United were rumoured with earlier on, was Nuno Tavares. And I think that's who got 8 assists in Serie A last season. So I think Leeds are going for an attack-minded left back, but I think they have to be so conscious about a player fitting in a low block. And when you actually look at his duel rate, it looks really decent. He looks aggressive. I think he looks really aggressive, Gabby Gudmundsson, and I like that a lot. And I think he just fits, because Leeds, as I've mentioned several times, we've got to think about the stylistic way of which we're going to go about games. We're going to be in a low block a lot of the time. We're going to be sitting deep, and I think if Gudmundsson's comfortable there, which it looks like he is, I'm happy with that. Need a backup, but fantastic first team left back, fits the Giants that we're going for. Yeah, I get it. Depends how tall you are, Tom. Depends how tall you are, mate, because he's 5'10". He's 5'10". Firpo, good point, Connor. We only saw the best in the Championship, best in moving on, and that's it. You know, what was it? 14 goal contributions, but in the Premier League, what would that be? You know, what would that be? That's a conversation, of course. Okay. Hi, Connor. New to the channel. Like the 3 DDDs. Well presented match on together. Thank you, Kevin. It feels like we had the whole. It was like, hello, everybody. Welcome. Hope you're doing fantastically well. But it feels like the whole discourse, and debate in whatever form you want, whichever word you want first. That's exactly what One Leeds is about. It's all about just conversation. We had a conversation last night with Gabe. Gabe was sticking it on me last night. He was sticking it on me last night. I didn't know that was coming my way. But it's the beautiful thing when it comes to One Leeds, and what I've always enjoyed is debate. I love it. I think it's great. I think new opinions, respectful, but new opinions are brilliant. That's why I think you guys were getting a little bit irritated last night when I was mentioning context, because I think context is king. It is key. You got to apply context. I was being nearly bullied last night into being into having to answer a question between Anton Stach and Ethan Ampadu, which I just won't do because there's too much context. Too much context. So, yeah, no, it was great, though. It was a really good episode. I encourage you guys, if you're bored after this, to go watch that if you fancy it. Swedes as well. Let us know in the comment section below what you're thinking about Gabby. Excited to see how far we'll set up in the Premier this year. The first few signings are suggesting relying quite a bit on the tall defence, potentially to make use of corners. Yeah, Tom, and not conceding from corners as well. I've mentioned this. If you have just joined and you've not been keeping on tabs with the rumour mill, and just a lot of the regulars are in here, I can see, and they'll probably get bored of me saying the same thing. But the bottom three are the teams that got promoted last season, and obviously got relegated in the same season. They're in the bottom four when it comes to set pieces conceded. That can't happen. That can't happen. It just shows how dominant the top teams are, not only when it comes to technically and putting the balls in the right areas, but also physically and athletically in the box. So defending corners is going to be massive for Leeds this season, and getting players who are going to be adaptable to that is huge. You had Arsenal. I think Arsenal finished in the top two. They finished in the top two when it came to set pieces scored. They might have even finished first, and that's why a lot of the top teams, in my opinion, are veering a little bit more toward that. And you look at last time we were in the Premier League, you look at the last time under Marcelo Bielsa when it came to set pieces conceded, it felt like every single week, we were conceding set. I mean, we had City, didn't we, and Liverpool in a very short space of time when we were under Bielsa, and it felt like it was set pieces conceded consistently, but it felt like Leeds, even with Marsh, it was a consistent problem. So I like the fact that we're attacking that with Bornau, with Beal, with Gudmundsson as well. So positive as well. Nemecha coming in as well, who definitely can be part of a defensive setup as well. But obviously going forward, Leeds should be right now very, very good when it comes to this point. I think the only thing that I would be concerned about, is the goalkeeper. And we're going to get onto the goalkeeper in just a second, but it feels like it's maybe throwing stuff against the wall and seeing what sticks. We don't know, though. I have no idea. Leeds could be moving on goalkeepers right now, and none of us know. We get the few snippets, but let's be honest, it's not as transparent as it was with Rads. The 49ers literally could have one signed, sealed, and delivered now, or they could be talking to two or three right now and have a short list of who they prefer, and we just wouldn't know. And they'll slip to the local journalists what they want to slip to the local journalists. That's become abundantly clear with the 49ers. Morning, Corner. Hope you're well. Just on a train back from Scumchester. Crap signal, so I'll watch at work. Have a good one. Cheers, Loaf. See you soon, buddy. Let's have a look. I'm excited to watch the BBFC next season. Definitely, mate. I agree with you. Leslie says, hi, Leslie. Gudmundsson feels like a godsend. We haven't had a decent left back since Charlie Taylor. Milinkovic-Savic would be a mental signing. Yeah, 100%. 100%. I agree with you. Ryan says Milinkovic-Savic made Chuck Norris cry. Oh, goodness. He's going to be a monster, isn't he, if he signs? Can I be honest? I don't know why. Maybe it's the Leeds in me, the cynic in me. I just feel this guy is just too good to be true. There's something in my bones, and I'm hoping I'm wrong. Maybe it's just because Stach is he's so like high profile. It would be, and for such a good, it feels very much like the Josep Guardiola saga, where it was for such a good price. He had such a good reputation, and Leeds were in for him, and it went south. And I don't want to be pessimistic. It feels very much like Rodrigo de Paul, where it was like the profile of him is ridiculous. He was at Udinese, wasn't it, at the time, Rodrigo de Paul? And it was like, my God, Leeds are front of the queue. Not only this, but at the same time, he's talking to Leeds fans online and commenting on Instagram. And you're thinking, my God, we're going to go get this Rodrigo de Paul, who's got such a high profile. He's got so many goals and assists this season for Udinese, being Serie A, one of Serie A's best players. It just feels, I don't know what it is with Stach. It feels like it's quiet. I mean, Kicker have spoken about it this morning, the big German publication, but I don't know. It feels like very similar to De Paul, very similar to Guardiola. I hope I'm wrong, and I hope this is surprising. I just, and it's a feeling. It's literally primarily a feeling. I just don't think we get this one done, and I don't know what it is. It's just a feeling. Maybe it's the fact that there's probably more clubs in for him than we actually think. Maybe it's the fact that in January, Spurs, Man United, there was rumours of those guys being interested in Spurs going as far to inquire about him, if you're to believe what has been said behind the scenes. I don't know. Now, Kicker have said this morning as well that Stach isn't merely coveted by Leeds. It seems increasingly likely that Stach will depart the Bundesliga club this summer. TSG sporting director, Hoffenheim sporting director, and Andreas Schicker must immediately begin reducing his oversized squad. Stach remains the only player that he can fetch a double-digit sum for, which is obviously saying how highly sorted he is in that side. Kicker doesn't specifically reference which other clubs may be interested in the 26-year-old, but it does make perfect sense that plenty of managers would love to bring the twice-capped international aboard, I should say. Stach has also been linked heavily with Frankfurt. Okay, so Hoffenheim escaped relegation as well last season, and they're not respected at all by German media when it comes to obviously their reputation. Virtually all transfer roundups in German, talking about this, and then they've said effectively it was clear from the start that things aren't going to happen in June, but now things are slowly starting to move. Schicker is quoted as saying, our squad is comprised of 1/3 of TSG faces, 1/3 of academy, 1/3 of top tier talent. We need to establish a clear hierarchy. So basically, Hoffenheim are really struggling. They're really struggling to fetch any sort of fee for some of their big hitters. So Stach is one of the big hitters. So there is quotes obviously this morning from behind the scenes as well, according to German publications, that he's interested in a move to Leeds United, but nothing more. So I don't know. It's very up in the air. It feels like this is on a knife edge with Stach. I don't know why. I think maybe I keep saying this, but I genuinely believe it's because you're aware of him. We've not sat there and watched 500 games of Anton Stach, but everybody is aware of him. Everybody is aware of him. So I just feel he's too high profile. And as I said, twice capped by Germany as well, so that you're not a slouch. We know that with Nemecha as well. 13 to 17 million quid. I'm just skeptical that this goes through. I'm just skeptical because his next move should be higher than Hoffenheim, really. And Hoffenheim fighting relegation last season. That's exactly what Leeds are going to be doing. However, it is in the Premier League, so it is going to be a step up 100%. It just makes me feel like there are going to be other clubs. And as Kick has mentioned there are other clubs. Frankfurt, European club. Could something happen there? We've seen, though, very, very recently with the likes of Noah Siddiqui with Sunderland going to Sunderland over Frankfurt. So it can happen. The Premier League has an allure, it has a pull. I just don't know. We'll have to wait and see, I guess. What do you guys think? What do you guys think in the comment section below with regards to that? Do you think it happens? I think we've got to bring in more than 2 this week. Dave says, Daniel, sorry, definitely happy with the new defense, much stronger, but needs attention to shift into the midfield and towards now. Needs strength through the whole team. I agree, mate. I agree. Just joined. Thanks, Dave. Top man. Appreciate that, buddy. Let's have a look. No point hiring big players for set pieces if you don't have the training or the skills to deliver the ball. I completely agree with you. Donny says, why 2 goals and 2 assists in 36? Well, that is his record, Donny, but it's not his game. It's not his game. He's not a player who's going to be. I mean, you could look at Stach and say that maybe he's an A. He's a definite ball carrier, but you don't really associate him with being that midfielder who's going to grab goal after goal after goal, assist after assist. His game is very different. His game is comprised in aerial duels, ground duels, covering ground. As I say, ball carrying, being press resistant. There's a lot to his game, which isn't just, and obviously, what's Ampadu's goal record? Do you know what I mean? What's Tanaka? It's not great, is it? Morning, Connor. Are we going to be confirming anything this week? I hope so, buddy. I hope so. Uncle Tony Pony. Hi, Uncle. Morning, Connor. Tony B here. I'm finally got my brain working post-class, though. Missed a load of room meals and catching up. Did Lille planes turn out to be Gudmundsson? I'm not sure about the planes, mate, but it does look like it's edging closer. It does look like there's edging closer. Frankfurt sniffing for Stach, yes. Andy says, I think you're right, Connor. I have an awful feeling about Stach. Feels like we used to get an agent bay. He'll be like, that's kind of how I feel as well. That's kind of how I feel, mate. I just feel that there is maybe especially with Kicker's report this morning. I was reading it at 7 a.m. this morning going, okay, there's other clubs that will remain unnamed. So you just don't know how high these clubs. What's that going to demand? If he comes to Elland Road, there could be a release clause in there of which he thinks it has to be lower. If Leeds come in for 17 million quid, I want this release clause to be 25 million quid. If Stach has an unbelievable season at Leeds United and we have to get rid of him for 25 million quid, that might not be seen as good business by the club. You look at someone like Liam Delap. Liam Delap had a release clause of 30 million quid. You know, there is an argument with the money that's going around nowadays. They could have fetched much more, but he had a release clause. Ipswich, as soon as that was met by Chelsea, had to let him go. So Leeds would have to. It feels like release clauses are a big thing nowadays, a big thing behind the scenes. So that's maybe something that is going to be discussed. But I also think as well that if Leeds are showing these players, like someone like Anton Stach, who is a very good level of player, if they are showing players like Anton Stach, the Rafinha thing, what is the big thing with Rafinha? He moved on within what, 2 years? Stack may be thinking to himself, well, okay, and this is all just speculative, but okay, I'll come to Leeds United, but I want this, and this in place, and I want to be gone within a year. That could be the thing. I mean, he's 26 years of age right now. And with the clubs that have inquired about him over the past 12 months and have been interested in him, maybe that's what he's thinking. Maybe Leeds is that stepping stone. And that's kind of what Leeds are advertising as well. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see with that one, I guess. We'll have to wait and see. Okay, let's go on to Mr. Fun. This guy's fun, isn't he? I like everything to do with this guy. Vanja Milinkovic-Savić. Now, this absolute Goliath of a human being stands at a mere 6'8", over 2 meters. Now, apparently, Leeds United, according to Damasio, who've got nigh on 2 million followers, I believe it is, on social media, normally is a little bit of a slide on to them having a decent reputation anyway when it comes to journalism. They've reported that Leeds have sent inquiries now, or they've inquired and they've sent. They've basically been in conversation with Torino about Milinkovic-Savić. Now, if you're not aware and you haven't been watching the rumour, like some of you don't on your weeks, you're a little bit busy. Vanja stands at 6'8", a penalty saving merchant. It looks like somebody who's very good at handling, very good at being a leader from the back. Someone who isn't great when it comes to passing out from the back. And you look at his stats and he's not. I think his pass accuracy when he's gone mid to long term, and just in general, overall, is something like 58% when I was doing the old grind last week, which isn't ideal. But maybe that insinuates that Leeds United are going to be going to a little bit of a different systematic approach when it comes to going route one at points to obviously get beyond the press. And once again, if you're defending your box and you've got, let's say, Bornau in there, a mixture, right? Bornau, Strauch, Rodon, be all. They're not all going to be on the pitch at the same time. Anton Stach, Nemecha, Milinkovic-Savić, whatever. And you've just got a bunch of giants in there who can play football as well. Leeds are going to be very, very intimidating when it comes to corners, and Leeds are going to be very, very good when it comes to set pieces as well. So that is something to bear in mind. But he looks extremely good. And also, there is a free kick going round of him taking a shot. And if you've ever seen Stankovic, everybody, going back to the nostalgia vibes, which I love to do when it comes to Serie A, Stankovic absolutely smacking the ball in from 40 yards for Inter Milan. It might have been a European game or Serie A, I can't remember. But he smacked one in. It reminded me a little bit of that. Milinkovic-Savić runs up to hit this ball from a free kick, and it absolutely cannons off the crossbar. The crossbar nearly breaks in half. So this guy can actually take free kicks as well. And we've not had that in a while. So you could see in the Premier League, Vanja Milinkovic-Savić coming up and just absolutely slapping a ball, top bins, and Leeds staying up on the last day of the season. Get in there. No, but he does. He's a little bit of a Swiss Army knife when it comes to a goalkeeper as well. And it's like, it depends on what you want. If you've got a goalkeeper who is adept to playing a certain style of football, but also between the sticks is very, very reliable. His save percentage is extremely high. It's extremely high as well, which you guys know that I sort of veer towards. I think it's a better representation of a goalkeeper's individual prowess than clean sheets, because I think clean sheets can be a unit thing, So yeah, he looks like a monster. So can't profess to have watched bagfuls of Torino either, everybody, but everybody in Serie A is aware of this guy. But I think when you look at Napoli and how Napoli play, Napoli with the other club interested in him, they didn't deem his 19 million euro release clause. They deemed it too high. So they walked away from proceedings there. But Leeds United, 19 million euros should be an absolute drop in the pond. So we'll have to wait and see. Cole, there we go, coming in with the 76 save percentage as well. That's the other thing. Leeds United comps, 15 goal prevention. And by the way, when I saw this stat this morning, when he was 15 plus goals prevention. So guys, I would go on about this all last season when it came to Elland Road, been in the minuses when it comes to goal difference with this Leeds United side who barely concede chances. Basically, basically is the conclusion, or comes to the conclusion of anytime Leeds actually let a player through or there's a shot on goal, a hell of a lot of times the ball would just go in and Elland Mele wouldn't prevent anything. You know, the upside, let's have a look at the dark side of Manchester. David De Gea for seasons would be in a plus metric when it comes to save percentage and goals prevented because he just saved them consistently, whether or not it's penalties, whether or not it's players going through 1v1 and De Gea getting them out of it. You have to have a goalkeeper who saves you, you know, pardon the literal pun, but you do. You have to have a goalkeeper who saves you and keeps you in matches. That's exactly what someone like Milinkovic-Savic is as well. At Torino, who aren't, a big Bolshi Serie A club, they're overshadowed by their Turin rivals in Juventus, of course. But they are not a big side in Serie A. This is a big person who prevents goals, which is exactly what you want from a goalkeeper. Anthony says, I'm off to Sweden. Con, would be good to see you out there. Suggest flying Gothenburg first. It's always cheaper. Oh, okay, mate. Where are you flying from? Should we go together? Shout out to you, though, mate. I saw this guy in Oslo when Norway played Serbia. Absolute monster. Shout out to you, Isaac. Good to hear some stories like that, man. Would like to have a go with footwork as well. Makes you safer, but can't have everything. Bang on, Frankie. Bang on, man. I completely agree with that. Completely agree with that. James, hey, James. Morning, mate. Who you picking, Milinkovic-Savic, Perry, or Pope? To believe it or not, Milinkovic-Savic would be bottom of that pile if you're talking about those two others. Perry probably top. Yeah, Perry probably top, and then Pope. That's probably what I go as a 1, 2, 3. It's a good shout, though. It's a good shout. 3.6 saves per 90, best in Serie A last season. Cole coming with the stats. I think I've read all this, mate. I should have brought it to the fore, really. But yeah, Terminator Central says just stinks. Great. Jay says not tall enough. I like my GK 6'10 anyway. The save percentage, and that is what we need. I keep saying this, everybody. It's so important. And it's overlooked. It is overlooked. Solid defenses keep you in the Premier League. They keep you in the Premier League. Goals is huge, of course, but you're always in matches. Always in matches if you've got a solid defense. You know, if you've got a back line that is strong. I keep mentioning Luton. Luton Town was so. If you fancy it, go back and just have a look at that season with the presence that they had in that team when it comes to deliveries with Ross Barkley and Alfie Doherty and the players that they had in the middle when it came to, I've mentioned this before, Adebayo, Carlton Morris. Then, from set pieces, you have Mengi, you have Bell. They had presence everywhere, absolutely everywhere. There was monsters for that Luton Town team, and they were unlucky. They were unlucky. Okay, and they finished in the playoffs, by the way, and were given no chance. Everyone said that we're going to be relegated immediately. They were brilliant. They just didn't have the technical players to be able to keep them up, but they're the profiles. And I think what Leeds have done is they've looked at Luton and they've thought, if we can replicate that with better technical footballers in and around some of our pylons, who can also play football, by the way, but if we give ourselves a chance when it comes to these sort of, little incremental parts that we can do, it's a really good option for Leeds, just going down this route for me. Obviously, merging that with technical ability, but it's a really good option. I think someone like him coming in just adds to that, doesn't it, when it comes to that physicality? B Quirky says Vanja is a beast, but was concerned he flaps at a lot of balls back into danger on his hand. If you actually look at it, B Quirky, when it comes to his handling and his, because obviously for these we have to do a lot on a morning. So I went back and had a look at a hell of a lot of his highlights. When you are looking at his highlights, it does look like his handling's pretty good. And when you look at his scouting report as well, it looks like his handling's pretty good as well. So I don't know. I think when my concern has come from Milinkovic-Savic, has maybe come from a parries. It looks like he parries a lot. I don't know if it's just his massive palms. But when he gets down to it, a lot of the time, we see this with Anana in the Premier League a hell of a lot. And Edison, actually. Edison does this a hell of a lot. They don't palm the ball out, okay? So the defense then has to be ready and on the toes for the ball to come back into the area. For shots made, it's that second ball, palms off the goalkeeper, back centrally. When you do watch a lot of his highlights and you look at the packages and some of the things said about him as well, he does seem to palm it back into the danger zone, which is a slight issue. But when it comes to his handling and his presence from set pieces, he looks decent. I'll be honest, he looks decent. Sweet, caught alive at the gym. Good lad, Dill. Good lad. Yeah, you won't see Rodon shouting back at this guy. That is true. That is true. I'll just get battered, won't he? Guys, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have a little bit of a minute for our sponsors. You guys know that for One Leads to Run, We need sponsors. We really do. So I really appreciate all of you getting in touch as well. We're also looking for sponsors on the second channel. You can get in contact via Twitter and Instagram. We are going to set up a separate email for that. But I'd just like to drop some of our sponsors as well for this video. Match Bingo. You can get 5 cards for the price of 4. For a £5 deposit, you get £10 with my link in the description below. Absolutely free. I don't know why you wouldn't get involved in that, but you can do. Also, we're sponsored by Shop G&O, everybody. The best e-commerce site out there right now when it comes to newcomers. You know, you can make money and you can save money as well. You know, there's so many discounts on there. You get benefits and a free membership when it comes to One Leeds, which is worth 25 quid. Get yourself registered on there. If you want to put a shop on there, we've got Pet Care Factory, which is currently on there. A Leeds fan wanted to find cheaper rates. Than eBay, Vinted, and Amazon. He's gone on Shop G&O because of the cheaper rates. And there's more deals coming. There's more incentives coming as well to get involved. Honestly, guys, I wouldn't be getting sponsors in if I didn't feel that it worked and sort of was good with my community. I've been thinking about setting up like a merchandise shop as well. And this is why I'm definitely going to be going with these guys as well. Leeds fans as well. So get involved if you want to just run your shop on there. But if you want to buy some bits on there as well, like you do with Amazon every single day, there's discounted bits over there, everybody. So make sure you do so. Stankovic goal was against Neuer when he used to play for Schalke, UCL game. Good memory anyway, mate. Yes, Lucha. Do you remember? It was, what a goal. What a goal. Just absolutely pinged off the bar. Pinged off the bar and in, didn't it? I think Pelé gets done. I've seen Savic a couple of games. He's a monster. He knows when to drop and make himself massive, which is not too hard for him. Good with his feet. But yeah, I guess that's where we're looking right now. That's where we're looking. I absolutely love the fact he's a Serb as well. I just love he's a Serb. Just Eastern European as well, you know, Eastern European. He looks like he grew up next to a power plant. You've got to love it. Right, you absolute legends. I am going to, morning Connor, as Gabe said last night, let's overplay and sign Stach and Savic. I agree with you, buddy. Bit of a shorter one today. I'm not going to waffle on too much. We've tried discourse, debate, discussion. I know you guys enjoy it as well. I don't want to overthrow you with my opinions too much as well. And you see in my face too much now, but I will be back 10 a.m. tomorrow. There's 1,300 of you in the building. I want all of you to slap a like on the video. We hit 2,000 likes on one video last week. Can we hit 2.1 thousand likes on a video? That's the target this week, everybody. I predict things are going to start moving as well with Leeds United as well. So make sure you're sticking on with One Leeds. We've been trending on Leeds United Google now for the best part of 2 months. A shout out to you. There's a massive growth on the channel, and that is all because of you guys. You've been amazing with your engagement. I hope you're noticing little improvements on the channel as well. I want to do that for you guys as well. I'm trying to put all the money back into the channel as much as I can. It's been an absolute pleasure, everybody. Like, comment, and subscribe. This has been One Leeds. My name is Conor McGilligan. I hope you've enjoyed the room mill, everybody. Like, comment, subscribe. See you on the other side. Cheers, guys.